The BBC has a new Director General. Matt Brittin, a former senior tech executive, is taking over from Tim Davie. In this new age of streamers and on-demand television, the hope is his experience at Google will serve him and the corporation well. Here's David Silito.
Traitors, Strictly, comedy, BBC News, BBC Radio. The broad bit of broadcasting rather captures it when talking about the BBC. But the man who's now been chosen to lead it isn't a broadcaster. His background is running Google's European operation, and it's an issue he acknowledged when he was recently made a Fellow of the Royal Television Society.
When I was contacted about this, I literally went back and said, this must be a mistake. I've never written a script. The only times I've been on television is being grilled by tough interviewers, some of whom are in the room. And so, what is this about?
So who is he? Matt Brittin first made headlines 40 years ago as a Cambridge rower in the boat race.
Matthew Brittin, who is only 18 and a half years old and is the youngest boat race oarsman ever.
30 years later, he was being questioned by MPs about Google's tax affairs and his own pay packet.
Could you tell me what you get paid, please, Mr.
I don't have the figure, but I'll happily provide it.
You don't know what you get paid, Mr.
Chair, let me...
And there's going to be lots more of that sort of public scrutiny in his new job. But for one former BBC editor and colleague from his Google days, this appointment is a sign of changing times.
I think the BBC chose him because of his strong, secure leadership. I think that's probably the main reason. But if you think about the challenges that the BBC faces at this time, whether that's the challenge of the streamers or misinformation online or simply how people consume content these days, I think his appointment makes a lot of sense.
He's replacing Tim Davie, who stepped down after a BBC apology to Donald Trump because of a misleading edit of one of his speeches. The ensuing lawsuit is ongoing. So too the negotiations over the future of the BBC's charter. Matt Brittin's in tray is already overflowing before he's even started. David Silito, BBC News.
Good luck, fella. Now, time for a look at the weather. It's Louise.
Hi there, Clive. It's been a bit of a wild Wednesday, hasn't it, really?